Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. Today I want to talk about fighting game characters. So fighting game characters are some of the most famous characters in all of gaming, right? Because fighting games, a character isn't just a larger than life character, they are also the gameplay. And naturally every game has its gameplay, right? But it's kind of hard to be attached to, say, M16 or AK-47 in a shooter in the same way you would be attached to, like, say, Chun-Li or Sub-Zero. The characters are the gameplay, but they're also, well, characters. And we love characters in games, right? Like, you think of a specific character, it usually evokes all sorts of memories regardless of whatever game it may be. Lots of good times and lots of good thoughts. And fighting games have no shortage of great and classic characters, that's for sure. Once again, some of the most legendary characters of all of gaming are fighting game characters. But when you think of a lot of the best characters in fighting games, it's mostly people who've been around since the 90s. And sure, you know, it's easier to build a legacy when you're around first. Gives the characters gameplay and actual character time to evolve over the years for multiple renditions of various games and franchises. So the idea I kind of want to work with this video is, who's the greatest fighting game character of the modern era? A character that doesn't necessarily have, 30 years of history behind them, because it's easier to grow a legacy when you've been around for a very long time, to be frank. And on top of not having, various legacies of storylines, character designs, all that kind of stuff, obviously, when you're a new character, you have to have new gameplay. Frankly, it's harder for new characters to create a legacy the same way the classics in the 90s do over the various franchises, just because they haven't been around as long, and their gameplay either will be derivative of somebody else's most of the time, or if it is all new, it might be scary and people might not like it. You can make an all-new character that plays great, plays the game that they're in fantastically, is mechanically interesting, has a good function, if you will, but if the actual character isn't as good as the gameplay, they'll be relegated to the dustbin of history. Like the Collector in Mortal Kombat 11, one of the new characters introduced in that game, I think gameplay-wise is one of the most fun characters. He actually wound up becoming my main. But character-wise, nobody cares about Collector. How about Ram in Tekken, right? Debuted in Tekken 7, was kind of messed up when he debuted, and obviously got changed a little bit. And now he's recently released here, and he's perfectly fine. He doesn't seem broken or anything this time around, right? So that's fine. He's perfectly fine, but I don't think I've ever seen less hype for a new character, a new DLC, in the modern era ever for a character. Maybe, partially, that's because of Tekken 8's problems. But it's also, once again here, he's just not a good character. The gameplay can't be enough to save him. People are already more excited for Armor King. That says a lot, and we don't even know what changes Armor King will have in Tekken 8. So who are the new characters that can forge a legacy? Frankly, the best example is Juri. So I know Juri's not new anymore, but of the modern era, Street Fighter 4 and up, I guess, she would be the best example, as she is basically one of the more iconic Street Fighter characters, even though she wasn't around in the 90s. And she got to get where she is purely off the character. Her attitude, her look, certainly not the gameplay, because in Street Fighter 4, she was weird and hard. She had a negative edge mechanic which almost scared everyone off of playing her as soon as they tried her for the first time. Then Feng Shui engine, which also was weird for a lot of people because it gave you rules that didn't exist in Street Fighter, which admittedly, you gotta try new things with a new character. But even though gameplay-wise, shaky start in Street Fighter 4, she managed to carry her legacy through just purely off her design, aesthetic, and personality, that she's a part of the main cast forever now. Like, the Overwatch collaboration really says it all. It is all Street Fighter 2 classics and Juri. Like, actually, they are basically pretending like Juri was always around. Like, that's how much of a critical success she's been. Juri was always here from the start. Like, even how they sell that trailer initially. They're doing the classic Super Turbo intro for Street Fighter 2 with the World Warrior classic music, and they have Juri in there, like she was here from the start. If Capcom could rewind time somehow and put Juri in Street Fighter 2, they probably would. So that's a critical success, and Juri is admittedly the best example of a new character creating a legacy, right? But let's start with, I don't know, something a little bit newer than Street Fighter 4, I guess. Let's start with, say, the PS4 era and up. Who's the best new character? Guilty Gear has to be a fantastic example. Guilty Gear, always known for its larger-than-life characters, and maybe not everyone hit as hard as they could with the newer cast. Like, I like Giovanna, but she's not going to be an all-timer, right? But take people like Gold Lewis and Nagori Yuki. These guys legitimately are fantastic. These guys probably will be around for the next game. Hopefully. Anyways. They're great fusions of good gameplay, personality, and actual character, right? And of course, Gold Lewis had the Behemoth Typhoon, which was a meme in and of itself for quite some time. Like a character from the American government who keeps an alien in his Area 51 coffin. Legitimately, it's like an actual triumph of design. Lord knows people could be frustrated by his gameplay sometimes, but he's a really cool character. And hell, cool character, Nagori Yuki radiates cool. Like big jacked up samurai vampire with a cool mask? That's half the battle right there, isn't it? And then you add to the fact that his gameplay mechanics very unique and not like really anything else. So the whole blood gauge mechanic, the more blood you get up, the more you run the risk of going crazy, but also you get a lot of rewards. Your normals get better, you do more damage, all that kind of stuff. Just don't go too crazy or it might all go wrong. But even when things go wrong, sometimes you can still get a fun little reward out of it, a fun little extra power, right? Like, these two characters are actual triumphs of design, gameplay, and character. It's going to say Tekken, right? How about Reina? Friggin' Tekken 8 was almost sold on Reina's back alone. Tekken's a franchise with tons of legacy, so many characters, and now in this day and age and all new characters showing up, how could they stand a chance against the classics? And yet, Reina made a huge splash. People love Reina. She has a great look, a cool personality, a cool gameplay style in that she's a little bit of a fusion of Heihachi, who was purported to be dead at the time. We know better now. And her own stuff as well, right? So evoking a bit of the legacy, but doing her own thing. Tekken is a game that heavily relies on its legacy cast, because a lot of times when they do new characters, like we talked about Facamram, they don't always hit the mark. Like, let's say Claudio. I actually like Claudio, but is he going to go down as an all-timer? No, he definitely is not. Comparatively, Reina, just like Juri, it's going to be like Reina was always part of the cast. Like, I don't see her ever going anywhere now that she's here. When you get that good mix of the actual character itself is strong and the gameplay also works, then you got something special to work with. And frankly, like we talked about Juri, I do think for a character's success, the actual character part is more important than the gameplay part, because Juri wasn't terribly functional at the start, but we got there in the end. But yeah, so there's been so many cosplays, fan arts, everything of Reina. Like, Reina is here to stay. So when we talk about successful new characters, she's a very stellar example of exactly that. When you feel like the character, when they arrive in whatever game they arrive in, is just now part of the main core cast, you've won on character design. So just like Reina, I think will be in Tekken forevermore, another character I think that'll be part of the main core cast forevermore has to be Geras in Mortal Kombat. So like we mentioned earlier, I love Collector, right? I have to admit, Geras kind of made a bigger impact than Collector ever did. Another character that just absolutely radiates cool, which is very important in the fighting game character for sure, and very mechanically interesting. Like, he fights you using the actual sands of time, right? Because that's what he's all about, time. I guess in Dungeons and Dragons terms, he's a chronomancer or something like that. And visually, gameplay-wise, he's a treat to watch in a way few characters are. Like, even the most basic combos look cool. I have you stuck in time, and you're only affected by the moves I hit you with once time goes back to normal. So if I hit you with, like, an uppercut, only afterwards do you launch, right? Like, capture states are nothing new in Mortal Kombat, to be sure. But damn if it's not a cool way to go about it, right? Like, I'm hitting you with a move, then myself from the future appears, and then past me just fades away. Like, MK1 Geras especially is a treat, because you can create like a clone of yourself, feed it inputs, and have it do things while you move around separately from it. Like, even on the most basic, like, normal throws, it's a visual treat. Like, you can tell something's up with this guy that just ain't right. And then you got the fact he plays cool, the game plays great, he looks cool, another very important factor. And the game, Mortal Kombat, very famous for the cinematic story modes, does a great job of selling him to you. In that Geras is repeatedly shown to be an absolutely unstoppable monster. Like, there's nothing you can do. You can slow him down, but you can never truly stop him. Like, to me, the first time I ever saw Geras, just even like, you know, before the game came out, in like preview events and all that, I'm like, I love this guy. This guy's a great fit. Once again, it's almost like this guy should have always been here from the start. Then, you know, MK11, then later on MK1 with the gameplay refinements came out, and like, I'm convinced that Geras is absolutely one of the best new characters of the last 20 years in all of fighting games. Gameplay is cool, look is cool, vibe is cool, everything just hits. And of course, once again, you know, new characters, that's what we're looking for, right? That's sort of the point of the video here, the new characters that hit. Because frankly, a lot of new characters, they're not bad, but they don't hit hard. Like, take Dead or Alive, a franchise with tons of legacy. And obviously, new games, you gotta try new characters. But do you remember Lovable Diego? No? Weird, you don't remember Diego? It's because Diego didn't hit very hard, did he? Like, even the most contemporary example here, Street Fighter 6. You gotta sell the game, so you need the classic characters. You need Ryu, Chun-Li, and of course you need Honda, right? But we have lots of newcomers. But do they all truly hit? Like, I like them all. You know, I like Marissa, I like Manon, I like Kimberly. But are all these characters going to be around for Street Fighter 7? Probably not. I think, honestly, Aki has a better chance of showing up in Street Fighter 7 than a lot of the Street Fighter 6 newcomers do. Of the base newcomers, I think of anyone have the best chance, it would probably be Marissa, because she's like nothing else. She's got a unique look. She has unique gameplay to her. She's quite popular online. Popularity is a factor, right? Versus Lily is not popular, and she's just cute T-Hawk to be realistic. Kimberly is just cute guy to be realistic. Manon is proof that you can't just look good. She looks good. Her gameplay's a train wreck. And Luke, I like Luke, but like, he's just an all-rounder in a franchise full of them. Like, Luke was the boy of destiny. Like, when he showed up Street Fighter V for the final emergency season, it was like as a preview for Street Fighter 6, because he's the new face of Street Fighter. They put his face on the box. Like, they were trying hard on this one. And when Street Fighter 7 comes out, is Luke's face going to be on the box? No. No. Luke might not even show up. And it's not that he's a bad character. Luke's a perfectly fine character, but he doesn't hit hard. Juri, obviously, Street Fighter 4, hit hard, so she's a forever member of the roster now, right? Some of the other characters we talked about, Gold Lewis, Nagori Yuki, Reina, Geras, these are characters that hit hard. They will basically be as part of the games, hopefully, forevermore to come. And that's kind of my thought. So these are some of the best newcomers of the more modern era of fighting games. And this is where I throw it to you guys. What do you think? Not just who's your favorite, because once again, I love Collector. I want Collector. I realize Collector's probably not the best character to come back whenever Mortal Kombat comes back. So it's not just who you like, right? Who do you think are the hardest hitters, the best newcomers? Do you agree with some of my choices? Do you think I missed some characters I should have talked about? Post it in the comments below. I just thought this would be something fun to talk about. So let me know what you think. And other than all that, well, that is it for the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some fighting games.
This is the love we can